Hi everyone, my name is Pete McLean. I am a business advisor at Bright Red Triangle, where we can help you set up and start your own business or become a freelancer. But that's not why I'm here today. Today I am here to talk to you about prototyping and storyboarding, which will hopefully be helpful with your project that you're doing. So, what is prototyping? Ultimately, prototyping is giving your idea a presence, so bringing it to life a little bit more. You'll have been working in groups to come up with ideas, and at this stage we're now looking for you to make that into slightly more reality so you can start testing things out. So it'll help you also communicate your idea a little bit better. There are lots of different ways to prototype, but today we're going to concentrate on rapid prototyping. And just like it says, rapid prototyping is a quick way of testing your idea out. And there's three areas that we're going to have a look at to give you an idea of how to prototype. So firstly, sketching. As it says on the tin, you can sketch out your idea. Here's a small example of an app idea, and they have photocopied or printed the mobile phone, and they've just sketched on top of it how they think the user journey is going to go, or how they think it's going to work out. Now, one very important thing to say, and it's normally one of the first things students come back and say to me, is that they're not an artist. I can't draw, so I can't do this. We're not looking for an absolute work of art here. You can just sketch quickly, change things. It's just a really good visual representation of how to prototype the idea. If you really don't want to sketch it out, digital is at our fingertips these days. We have absolutely fantastic phones, or I'm sure someone in your group has a great phone, and you can actually just take pictures of the problem that you're trying to solve, and hopefully you might be able to use that in a storyboard situation, which we'll cover in a minute. But instead of drawing the steps out and the tasks out that your idea solves, this allows you to take pictures and represent what's going on rather than drawing it. Also, modeling is a very common way to prototype. Here's an example of a 3D printer, just to test it out, look at the sizes, does it work, gives a visual representation of the idea that they've come up with. Again, this is quite well made. They don't have to be well made. They can be made out of absolutely anything that you come across. It's really just a way of communicating your idea, and that's really what this is all about. Prototyping is a way to communicate your idea to others, and especially your target customer. So I just want to give an example. You might be sitting there thinking, why are we prototyping? Why is it important? Who else does this? And actually, a lot of the big companies do prototyping, and they don't spend thousands and thousands of pounds or a lot of time on it, but it's a very important part of their journey of creating a new product. So I wanted to use the Google Glasses here as an example. You can see at the top there that the Google Glasses, that's the final product. And actually, slightly ironically, I don't think Google Glasses exist at the moment out there in the marketplace. But in order to come up with this idea, these are actual sketches here on the screen of how they started to formulate the idea. And if I said to you, how long do you think it took Google to prototype the Google Glasses concept? Instantly you might think, oh, it's going to be months or maybe years to come up with the concept. But actually they spent one day using what they had around them to generate the idea and test it out and prototype it. And as you can see from the sketches, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but they were using things like hair bands, chopsticks, pens, presentation clickers, just to get the idea across of what Google Glasses was all about. So they built a headset with the chopsticks and a receiver, which was just a presentation clicker. And this is Google we're talking about, remember. They have a huge amount of resources at their fingertips, but this was the easiest way that they could have a go at the project and the idea that they come up with, and also present it to others. So when you're prototyping, I just wanted to give you a few tips. Just use what you have around you. Don't overcomplicate things. Don't overthink it. When you're given this task, you might instantly panic and think, oh, I can't do that. But actually, you can do it. If you overthink it, it becomes much more difficult. It's about getting things down on paper, sketching your idea out, building a little model. It can be out of absolutely anything: plasticine, paper, cardboard. It can be anything. Don't be scared to change it. One of the reasons you do prototyping is to see that it doesn't work, and you can change it and change it as many times as you like, especially once you put your prototype in front of a customer or your target customer. They may give you feedback, and it's important to change the product. And I suppose one of the important things of prototyping like this in a quick manner means that you haven't spent a lot of money on the initial prototype, and lots of products and services go through many iterations of a prototype. Set a time limit. It's one of the best bits of advice that was given to me. Set a time limit as a group to prototype the product, or your specific task will be storyboarding, but set a limit. I often find if you're under a little bit of pressure and you know you've got a set amount of time, it'll help you not overthink the problem and help you actually action things rather than sitting around a table scratching your heads. Make sure you have fun when you're doing it. And share it. Share your idea to lots of people. It's important to have fun, and it's actually a life skill. It's not just for this project. You might think, oh, I'm never going to use this skill in my life, but actually what you're doing here is just communicating your ideas, and we need that in all areas of life, whether you're in the workplace, getting a job, or in your personal life. It's about influencing people, and actually being able to show people and communicate your ideas is a big life skill. So what we're going to ask you to do is some storyboarding, and it's very simple. I've got a very simple example here where someone's just drawn squares, and one of the ways to think about it and give you a little bit of a tip is to base it around tasks. So what tasks is your idea generating? Put yourself in your customer's shoes. What is their problem, and how does your idea help them overcome that problem? And take them through the stages. Here we have an example of someone booking a court ultimately through an app, and it's very simply laid out, and it's very clear what it's trying to achieve. And that's one of the great things about prototyping and storyboarding, is it's about communicating it to your potential customer. So try and base it around tasks. Don't have lots and lots of boxes. And one of the main things as well is it brings your team together, because you all might be thinking slightly different things, but if you have this core storyboarding, you're bringing your ideas together as a team, and everyone's on the same page, everyone understands what everyone else is thinking. So again, just covered that briefly. Why storyboard? It helps you as a team to bring your idea together and develop the idea, and also communicate with the customer. So you'll be using your storyboarding that you've created to get out there and communicate with your customer and get feedback, because ultimately it's about feedback. We're doing prototypes and storyboarding to test the idea. So the more feedback you get, the better, and the better product you're going to actually produce, and you're going to come up with an idea that people want, and that feedback will be very quick if you've done a good job of this. So best of luck. If you've got any questions, don't hesitate to get into contact with us, but I look forward to seeing some of your storyboards. Thank you.